Hi everybody, it's Christina from Pretty Distressed. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you the full tour of my paint closet, talking about all the products I have, why I use them, and what I've used them on before. So if you're interested in getting this tour, just keep watching. Okay, I am super embarrassed to be showing you this, but this is currently what is going on. I have not been putting stuff away after projects. It's all over the place. I can't find anything. I have brushes that are cleaned but need to be put away. So here's a before. Hello, it's my paint closet. Please ignore all my clothes over here. This is a closet too. So this is a hot mess right now. Actually, I'm gonna give myself some grace. This is really not that big of a hot mess. It's still kind of organized, but I want it organized more, and I gotta get all that stuff off the utility sink and back and put away in here. So let's do it. Okay, so I totally did not finish my video for this week. My project is just taking a little bit longer than expected. So I will be back next week with a hutch makeover. So I put it out to you guys because I didn't want to leave you hanging and not have a video for this week. So I asked you what you guys wanted to see, and the overwhelming response was that you wanted a tour of my paint closet and all the goodies that I have. So I got everything out of the laundry room and everything is kind of grouped the way that I want it, but it definitely is not organized. So let's do a little organizing and then we'll go through everything that I have. So my paint collection, some of this stuff I have bought on my own, and some of it is PR, which means paint companies will send me stuff to try out and possibly feature on my channel. And then I have some paint that's been sent to me because I have sponsored videos with companies. So they actually send me the product for my project since it's a sponsored video. So that's why I have so much paint. You don't need all this stuff to start furniture painting or even to start a business. You can build it one can of paint at a time. Okay, now that I have everything all organized, let's talk about what I have going on here. So I kind of have all my stuff grouped by brand. It's just easier for me to find it that way. So I have a whole shelf that's Dixie Belle here. You know, I've talked about in the past that Dixie Belle is kind of that one-stop shop. They have different kinds of top coats, natural top coats, they have paint, they have stain, and they have a lot of specialty items that are like on this side that I will share with you. So starting over here, I have all my top coats, my Best Dang Wax, and I have the Big Mama's Butter, the natural wax. The Best Dang Wax comes in colored ones. I have a grunge gray that I used on my nightstand makeover, and the natural one are not colored, but they are scented, which is so good. And this one's my favorite. This is the Orange Grove one. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you guys could smell it. And I used this one recently on my little dresser makeover that I did that you guys are really loving. So this has been a fun product to try out. They also have a hemp seed oil, which is more of a natural option. So I hope to try this out on a full piece of furniture in the future. And then this one is kind of unique to Dixie Belle. It's their Easy Peasy Spray Wax. I used this wax back when I was trying out Dixie Belle products for the first time on my son's dresser, and it was really fun and easy to use this. They also have a lot of top coats. They have a bunch of different sheens in their top coats. The one that I like to use is the clear coat in flat. I used this when I refinished my son's bunk beds. This one just hasn't been used in a long time. That's why it looks like two different colors like that, but when you stir it up, it all forms into one thing. And then the most recent one that I've tried is the Gator Hide, which is water repellent. So this is going to be their strongest top coat, but it is still water-based. And then I have the sponge that they recommend that you apply it with. Dixie Belle has some great problem solvers. I have their White Lightning, which I use to clean. This has slowly been replacing my Dawn dish soap that I use just because it's just a really great cleaner and it's easy to use. I have a can of Boss down here, which is basically like shellac, and it seals a piece in case it has bleed through, and it also blocks odor. And then this one I haven't tried yet, but this is called Slick Stick. And it's meant to, if you have anything glossy, you can put this on as a primer instead of like sanding it back, and it will help your paint stick to that. So this is something that I'm hoping on trying out in the future. And then I have a whole array of colors of the chalk mineral paint by Dixie Belle. It comes in 3 sizes and I have all 3. A 32 ounce, a 16 ounce, and an 8 ounce. So the 8 ounces is just fun to like figure out what color you want to use maybe on a project before you commit to a whole big can like this. But I'm on a ladder, you guys, and this ladder is very creaky, so Apologize for the creakiness. This is more of my specialty items. So I have some Voodoo gel stain. This is a water-based gel stain. And I've used these just to kind of tone down whatever I'm working on. I've used the White Magic to give like a little whitewash to stuff that I'm working on. And then the denim, I've actually used this blue. If I have a stain that's really coming across orangey, I kind of use this blue to tone it down. Next up, I have the patina paints, which are meant to mimic metal. So there's iron, copper, and bronze. I used this paint to make over some lamps that I had. All these videos that I'm talking about are all gonna be linked down below. So check out that description box if you want to jump to any of these. I used the iron, and then I used this green spray, the patina spray. It creates like an automatic rusting effect and makes it just look old. Then I have the Moonshine Metallics, which I did a makeover for my daughter's room with and kind of reviewed all the colors that they had at that time. Since then, they've released a couple more colors. And then the last thing I have kind of in my Dixie Belle area here is this sea spray, and it just creates texture by adding this additive to your paint. And I used it on some vinyl shutters to make them look like they've been old and outside and really rustic. Moving on to over here. I want to move my camera. First I'll do all the paint in this section. I have my Jolie paint right here, which I'm a huge fan of. Have tons of videos on them too, so I will link that playlist down below. A couple of their whites, the Palace White and the Gesso White. Gesso White is like one of my all-time favorites. I love it, love it, love it for furniture. I have Noir, Gentleman's Blue. I have the Swedish Gray that I used for my bed makeover. So I have a bunch of their different waxes. I have clear, black, and I have a little tiny one of white. I have to try this guy out yet, but hopefully soon. I have their gilding wax, which I love. I did a video where me and my mom played around with this, and it's not a very high viewed video, but I really love it and it's a lot of fun, so you should go check it out. And then I also have some packs of Jolie's sanding pads, and I really love these. They're fine and medium grit, and they come in handy when you're trying to follow a new finish using their everyday guide. They mention these a lot, so there's like a medium grit one and a fine, and they're just really, they're small and easy to use, and so they're just a nice little thing to have. And then my next one I have is a new paint to me. It's Chippy Barn Amulet paint, and it's a little different than all the paints that I have in here because it's a ceramic based paint and it's going to give you a really smooth finish. And then I'm going to be trying out their top coat, which is, I know I get a lot of questions. People are intimidated by wax or want something that's gonna hold up really well, that's easy to put on. And so I'm gonna be testing out their top coat. So that's the hutch I'm working on this week. So that video will be up for you guys next week. So in the corner back there, I have all my Annie Sloan, and honestly, I probably need to open these up because these are so old. This is the old packaging that they used to have. This is what the new packaging looks like, but I just can't ever bring myself to throw away Annie Sloan. I just am very sentimental about it. You guys know that. It's the first paint I ever painted with. So it just, like when I see these cans, it makes me really happy. So I should open them up, but I'm gonna save that for another day. And then I have Annie Sloan waxes. I have a black wax, a clear wax, and then again, this brown wax is kind of the old packaging. Her dark wax is my favorite. I used to dark wax all the time, and I'm really not doing that so much on my channel anymore. But if you guys want to see that technique, let me know because I'd be happy to do another dark wax tutorial for you guys. Okay, so that's all the first row. I'm gonna go up to this top row now. These are just some samples I have of painted boards that I'm keeping. I have some color cards up here for just like all the different paints if I'm painting for a client and need to take paint samples to them. This is a paint company that is like a paint additive that hopefully I'm gonna try out soon. I think I have an Annie Sloan book up here too. I kind of grouped all the stains together, starting with the Dixie Belle No Pain gel stain. I recently used the white version of this in that dresser makeover that I keep referring to. I really like the new formula, and these are oil-based. So a little different than most of the stuff that I work with because most of the stuff I work with is water-based, but these perform really well. Next up is my general finishes section. You guys know that I love this high performance flat. It's probably my favorite polyacrylic water-based top coat on the market. I have used it in a ton of videos. In fact, I should probably just make a playlist with all the times that I've used this. I'm a big fan of their water-based stains that they have out now, and one of the new colors that they released is called Greystone. And I used that on a table makeover recently, and that color is just perfection. I used to have to layer some different stains to get a look like that, but now you can just get it in one swipe. And it's water-based, which is easy cleanup and not a lot of fumes, so big fan of that as well. Okay, over here I just have a couple of wood stains that I picked up at Home Depot when I did a little makeover over the holidays where I duped some Christmas trees. So I don't ever throw anything away, so I just have these up here in case I need them for another project. And then I have my Bin Zinsser primer. Sometimes I do use a primer. I don't really like to use primer a lot, but when I do use one, I use a shellac-based primer, because it's going to help with bleed through. It's going to help with tannins not seeping through from your wood to change the light color of your paint. It blocks odors. So, and this one is tinted white, so it just helps again when you're working with those light colors. So always have a can of shellac or a can of Bin primer if you're working on a project. It's just a go-to, and you can get it at Home Depot or on Amazon. Before I go up here, I totally realized that I skipped over all the brushes on this shelf, so I'm gonna go back and go through all my brushes. These are my natural bristle brushes. I have an Annie Sloan one, I have a couple of Jolie ones, and then I have some premium Dixie Belle chip brushes. All of these pretty much do the same thing, and these are gonna be good for giving you brush strokes and doing some more textured and expressive looks with chalk paint. The one brush that I don't have in here that I recommend is the Purdy Natural White Bristle Sash Brush. It's like a 2-inch brush. I used to paint with that all the time, but it recently just crapped out on me and I just haven't replaced it and bought a new one. But that brush is only around $11 or $12, and it's a great brush for someone who's starting out with chalk paint. So these are my synthetic brushes. I have a bunch of zebra brushes in here. I have been playing around with these a little bit. They're up and coming in the furniture world, and a lot of people are using them. They have all these specialty brushes that are really great for getting in like nooks and crannies of furniture. So I'm having a lot of fun testing these out, and hopefully they will show up in more videos soon. So this one has become one of my favorites as well. This is the Jolie Smooth brush, and this is just going to give you a smooth look with their paint. Like, you can do textures look with matte furniture paint, but if you're wanting to do a smooth look, this type of brush like really helps out. I have a second can of these, are kind of all my Dixie Belle synthetic brushes, and my favorite one out of this group, they have two of these. They have an angled one and just a flat one, and this is their minis. And they just become like an extension of your hand, and I like the short handle, so this one is a lot of fun to paint with. Okay, and then my last canister, these are all wax brushes. I have an Annie Sloan one in here. I have a couple of Jolie ones. This big one is my favorite wax brush. Then I have one that's dedicated to dark wax technique. This is a Coda artist brush, and this is the waxing brush. These used to be really big back in the day. I've had this for like 5 or 6 years. I don't even know, like Stockist used to sell this, but Annie might make her own dark wax brush now. I need to look at that, but you know, this is still hanging on there because I haven't used it like as much as other brushes. This one I got from Amazon, and I think I used this in my first ever YouTube videos, but I honestly never use this anymore. I must just be hanging on to it for sentimental reasons. It's definitely not as good as any of these other options in here, but of course you can just put wax on with a rag. So if you're not at the wax brush stage yet, don't worry about having all of these. All right, now we can go up to the top row over here. I have a whole bunch of Waverly chalked. You guys know I recently did a comparison with this guy and Annie Sloan. If you haven't checked that out, it's a really fun video. And then my latest piece that I did, I painted in this curry color, but I have a bunch of other colors to test out and try. And I have both of their sealers. I have their wax and their varnish that I tried out in that video too. So this has become a new one that I like to play around with, and it's super affordable, and they sell it at Walmart, so it's pretty accessible to everyone out there. And then over here I have some Chateau Interiors milk paint. I've only milk painted a couple of times. I hope to kind of try out some more techniques with that, but that is completely different than all this other stuff you're seeing here. This is actually a powder that you mix together. I recently did a dresser with this, and I have the bonding agent that helped it stick and not chip, but you can get a really cool chippy effect with milk paint as well, so I'm hoping to try that out. And then I sealed it with hemp oil, which is a natural sealant. And I have a video on that. And this is just a small company. If you don't know about Shacto, go look them up on Instagram. It's run by a gal named Kristen, and she is hilarious, and her stories are amazing, and the amount of furniture that she cranks out puts like everybody in this industry to shame. Over here I have all my Rust-Oleum metallic spray paints. This is my favorite spray paint to update outdated hardware. It's not always a good idea to replace hardware, or sometimes it's just really expensive. So a can of this stuff is around $5 to $7, and it totally transforms your hardware into a different color. It has like a real metal finish. It has a primer in it. It holds up extremely well. I've had this on furniture in my house for years. And the last thing I have over here is just a box of cheap chip brushes. These are my favorite ones from Amazon because they're a little bit thicker than the ones that you get at the hardware store. So I just have a box of these for if I'm working with an oil-based product and just want to get it on and be able to throw my brush away at the end, or if I'm putting on a primer that's that shellac-based one, so I don't have to clean it, so I can just throw it away. These are like 50 cents a piece. I totally realize this is an excessive amount of paint. I don't think that the normal average DIYer is gonna have this much stuff. I have this much stuff because I'm testing out paints so that you guys can really make an informed decision and buy the paint that's gonna work best for you. So this was just meant to be like a fun little tour. You guys motivated me to clean this closet up, and I have a clean utility sink now, which is gonna come in handy. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will be back next week with that hutch makeover with Chippy Barn amulet paint. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video going live. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you guys next time.